making this modular modern entertainment center.
When we first moved into the house, we needed a quick solution to serve Grandpa and his audiophile equipment. So we built this very quickly and with very inexpensive materials. Except for this board, everything else is plywood. Mm-hmm. But now it is time to upgrade. Now it is time to do something better. And this will be the focus of today's episode. So this is our replacement. One of the neat things about this is it is very sturdy. In fact, you can even sit on this. That is very, very strong. Mm-hmm. It's not going to go anywhere. You can arrange it in many different orientations, as we're going to show you. So one of the fun parts is that you can put it in an orientation like this, and the speakers will create a triangle to where you're going.
Because it is built in 3 separate pieces, it's very easy to rearrange the pieces and get different looks.
Possible orientation is like this as well. Mm-hmm. And you can make another top if you want to go across for a much, much larger TV than we have.
Okay.
Of course, you can also orient it like this, or you can separate the pieces to be like 2 little towers. The possibilities are as endless as your mind, but we want it the more traditional way. So stick around, you are still our favorite viewer, and as always we are going to show you every step of the way. So one of the first decisions we made was based on material we had in our scrap bin, and really this shouldn't be classified as scrap. This should be classified as, what you will call it, stock.
Yeah, well, we had this piece left over from another project, and since we have it, we definitely want to be able to use it.
So we decided we're going to build the project from this type of material. So we went to the store.
We're braving Arthur to go to Lowe's to get some material for our project. So again, we're not sponsored by Lowe's, but it is the closest one between Lowe's and Home Depot. We do not have a Menards here, unfortunately. If we had a Menards, we'll probably be going to Menards. But we're going to spend a few minutes buying material, and we're going to get back with you. The advantage is when you're little like Mrs. DIY. You can climb up things and check for the wood you want.
And purchase similar boards to these. Of course, they won't be identical, but it makes no difference. We're going to stain them.
Yep.
So these boards and the board behind us are the basis of our project today. And all joking aside, this time we actually made a drawing that gives our dimensions. Usually we joke about this, right? So we're going to use that. The first step, this is a very straightforward build. It's all 90-degree cuts, right? There is nothing complex. So we're going to start by cutting all the pieces we need to cut.
So we started with a rough drawing of the concept that we wanted to build and marked out the dimensions that we thought would be appropriate for the use for our specific purpose. And then the next step was making sure that the dimensions here would accommodate the pieces that we want to put in it. And also that it made sense when putting all the pieces together. So we calculated how many of each piece we needed based on the length of the section. The top we need 26 and a half, and so we need 2 of those for that and 2 for this one. So 4 26 and a half. We need 1, 2, 3, 4 20-inch pieces. We need 1, 2 17.5-inch pieces. And then we need a couple of 9s here and a couple of 10s. So you can see how they're going to come together. We want to make sure to allow in the height of the piece that we are going to insert the side underneath the top and the bottom. So that cuts down on the length of the piece that will go inside here to make the side.
So the first step is to cut the pieces we need for the piece. The pieces we need for the piece?
Yeah, that one.
That is brilliant English, isn't it? So looking at our drawing and the one we showed you, the better drawing, we know we need to cut 4 pieces at 26.5 and 4 pieces at 20. Now we know our dimension says 21, but we are going to put them inside, so we need to subtract 1 inch for the thickness of the material. Also, for pieces that are parallel to each other, it's more important that they're all the same dimension than that they're absolutely a certain dimension. So we're going to start by making a mark at 26.5 in one of the pieces. We're going to cut it, and then we're going to use that piece to mark the rest of the pieces, right?
Right.
Very good. Can you push it? So we can be on the line. Okay. Oh, it's there. I couldn't remember where the thing was. Ready? So we're just a little short of making a full cut. So we just flip the piece and we aligned it again with our saw. And now we're going to cut the remaining.
Okay.
So as we always do, we use the piece that we already cut and we're flashing it with our blade here. And as you can see, the blade is touching it. It wants to move a little bit, but it doesn't really move, you know, so that is good. And now we're going to cut it. So our offcut is also large enough for a 17.5 piece, which is another dimension we need. So we're marking it now since we're here, and we're going to cut it later. Or now, I guess we're going to cut it now. So out of one board, we got 3 useful pieces and a small scrap. So we're going to use 2 boards and we're going to have a substantial number of pieces cut.
That's right.
Our next cut will be 4 pieces in 20 inches. And because we cannot get them out of one 6-foot board, we decided we'll sacrifice our existing board. Well, sacrifice. It was intended to build something.
Go ahead and use it.
So we're going to use it because we can get all 4 pieces out of one board. So that's the next step. We're not going to show it to you because it's repetitive cuts. And as we said, this project is all 90-degree straight cuts. As we're cutting our pieces, I'm putting check marks here on our head-drawn plan. So we know that we have all our pieces cut and then we can start assembly. Here are a couple of tips for you. Let's say we wanted to cut this board. You start with the board you want to cut and ensure that it is flush against both fences, right? That will ensure that your cut is 90, otherwise it will be at a slight angle. Then you put the piece that you want to cut the same dimension, you ensure it is flush, and the best tool you have for this is actually your fingers.
Yeah.
And once you are happy that this is flush, you move it until it kisses the blade.
Mm-hmm. Not pushes, but
Right.
just touches.
Another trick is you can kind of put the blade down so it will not move while you're moving that piece.
Yep.
So your piece that you're cutting is not going to move.
Yep, and it holds the wood right there.
Right, we don't need to make this cut, because Elpida is not here yet, we cannot record and do things at the same time. So I wanted to show you a couple of tips of how to do this the best way.
And on this particular saw, the blade obviously is not as wide as the piece we're cutting. So there is some maneuvering we need to do with it. And the first piece is, how do you cut this board,
Right.
this long board, with this saw?
Well, in our case, it comes around here, and we have a little cut left. So all we do is after we make the first cut, we rotate the board, making again sure it is flush, and then we use the blade. Imagine there is a cut now
A
there,
partial cut. Uh-huh.
and you put the blade out in your cut, and that aligns you.
Right.
Does
It
that make
puts right
sense?
inside the same groove it was on the other side.
And that allows you to make a full cut. And our cuts, if you want to see, they're pretty good. That's a cut we just made.
Yep.
So it doesn't leave marks or anything.
Then also a safety note of this type of saw is you need to move it in a particular direction to make this
Well,
cut.
if you have a slideshow, yes, you know. And we couldn't do it if we didn't have a slideshow, because the slideshow, if you start cutting from here to here, because the saw rotates
The blade.
because the saw rotates the blade this way toward you. Does
Uh-huh.
that make sense?
Yep.
Once you touch it, the spinning blade, the blade wants to come towards you, and it feels unsettling. I mean, I don't know if it is
It tries
dangerous.
to pull it
Yeah.
or push it away from you.
So the correct way is to start as wide as your saw goes and go inwards.
Yep. So what you see here are all the cuts from our cut list.
Because woodworking is taking long pieces of lumber and make them shorter pieces of lumber, right?
Yes,
That's
for
all
sure.
woodworking is. Again, our check marks tell us that we've made all the cuts we need to do. And something, because this is furniture, we want it to look nice and fit nicely. But we know that cutting things is never perfect, right?
Right.
So we're going to start by building this part of the build.
Yeah, this is one of the base piece.
Because if we have made a mistake, we can correct it at this stage. You know, we're going to use more wood, but it is correctable, right?
Right.
But if we build the top parts, it is harder. I guess we can do it both, but it will be more complex.
Yeah.
So something that we don't always do, but is a great idea, is get ready. Set the tools you will need ready. And in our case, we need a drill bit, and we need a bit,
Driver bit.
a driver bit. And of course, you need the screws that you're going to use, right? Our next step is to make sure that our pieces are the same dimension, at least reasonably close to the same dimension.
You can usually do that by hand, by lining them up.
It's actually the best way to do it.
Feeling the edge here, on all sides, just to make sure that they are indeed the same dimension, because we need them to be.
And this will be the time to make any adjustments if needed, right? Again, any adjustment will be making it smaller, which might affect other pieces as well, because you cannot make it longer. This is a good time to remove any of your labels that Lowe's loves putting on things, right? So use your heat gun on high. You can go closer. Okay, now if you start crawling, it's time for you to. And I don't know if you notice it, but the label crawled a little bit, and then it is very easy to remove. Once again, we're using our favorite little clamps. I guess they're not very little. And because this is furniture, take time to ensure that everything is flush, right?
Right.
And we are going to make pilot holes. I think 3 per piece. Are you okay with that, Mrs. Gilman?
Yeah, I think 3 should be plenty. Make sure this corner is nice and tight.
Nice and tight. And here goes our first pilot hole. It's a good idea to be on forward. Now that everything is nicely aligned, now let's do the first screw. That ensures it's not going to move on us, right? Nice and flush.
Now I'm going to move to the bottom side.
So you need to remove this?
No, I'm not going to.
Well, you cannot turn it over and sit it on the clamp. What you're going to do?
I'm just going to hold it and do it.
You don't need a clamp?
No, I don't need a clamp. What I need is 2 hands for me to push this against me. Down
Okay,
here.
the thing will hold it. The screw will tighten it.
I know it will, but I want you to hold it so that you can put counter pressure on it. That's what I need you to do.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. People like our bandering apparently. So let's bander Mrs. DIY. Uh-oh, you left your bit away. Okay, and one in the middle approximately. You don't have to be mathematical here, right?
But you can if you want to be.
If that's how your flow goes, go for it. You could use here wood glue if you want it. It's not necessary. Because we're in the habit, as clearly by this episode, of reusing materials, right? As we said, we're going to reuse the old furniture. So if you use glue, you cannot do that. So now we're going to turn it around and do the other corner. Make sure that you're on the same side. We have done that in the past. No, we've never done a mistake like that, have we? So even with a pilot hole, going into a knot, split our wood. So we can use it by putting this corner in the least visible spot.
Right.
You can also cut a new one, whatever floats your boat.
Yeah, and we can actually repair this to some degree
Yeah.
by using some glue. And then the other thing we're going to do is to move this screw hole away from that knot and to secure it.
Okay. Fit this flush.
So now we have this clamp here holding the repair in place. You can see the crack just along the line there. We've used both wood glue and CA glue, and we're going to drill a fresh hole with the drill bit away from the previous hole so that we can attach. And we won't show you that whole thing. We just wanted to show you the setup while we have the repair in place.
Okay.
All right, so we want this middle piece to actually be in the middle. So we're going to use our middle finder tape measure. And we know that this is 26.5 inches. So we're going to go to 26.5, which is right here, right between my fingers. I know it's upside down for you.
But we can see the board's going to go and line up in there.
So I'm going to just make a little mark.
And this is the only tape measuring we approve in this time. Because it makes finding the center so easy, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, fortunately, on this piece anyway, it's right on a seam where these two pieces are joined. So it's very visible.
Okay. So we won't walk through the process of attaching this. It's the same as the other two boards. We just wanted to show you how to find that middle.
So now we have put the two screws, one on either side, because we made the mark on the top and the bottom so that we knew exactly where middle was. Now, unless you have a very bowed board in the middle here, you can use a straight line here, and basically we're going to measure, just like we did on the top and bottom, 26.5 where the middle is, and that's where we'll put our next screw.
So that is not the method we're using. You can draw a line between those two boards, and that line will hit any screw on that line will hit the board. But we're going to use the little measuring tape method.
Because we are being consistent in our method. And look at that. Again, it is right on 26.5. Nice little marking place right there. Perfect.
State-of-the-art dust removal. Now we're going to... Our first piece is done, and that is the middle bottom part. So we're going to assemble the other two pieces, and we're going to show you that process as well. So these are the pieces for the next piece, and the next piece is a mirror kind of thing. So we are going to make it twice. The assembly is the same. We're going to use screws and clamps like we saw you, so there is no need to show you how we do it. We're going to show you how it looks finished. Our pieces are coming out of two different lots. The piece that we had for some time now and the brand new pieces that we purchased from Lowe's. The older piece is slightly larger. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, just a little bit.
So we're going to take the time and make sure that they're all the same width. Again, this is a furniture piece, so it is a good idea. No, it is. So we finished ripping the wood, and as you can see, it was a very, very little amount. This plus 1/8, which is the blade width, right? So what do you think?
Yeah.
Not much at all. But because this is a furniture, again, we want it to be as close to perfect, if we can use that word, as possible.
So we don't really have anything to tell us where the middle is. So we're using this square and lining it up in line with the screws we've already put in. And we know our boards are fairly straight, so we're going to just make a mark in the middle where we want to put our next screw.
This is designed to be modular, right? We are almost done with this piece, but before we assemble it, because mistakes, even once we start to accumulate in a build like this, we want to make sure that we have the correct dimensions. So as you see, we need two pieces. One that would be a bottom and another one that would be a side that goes inside. And as you can see, this is clearly wrong. So that's why we did this check now, and we already corrected it. So we just need to cut about what it means.
Yeah. So this sits inside instead of outside as it was shown before because it was too large.
And that matches with the others that are
Right.
all on the inside.
So now, without having to measure everything 300 times and make 300 mistakes, hopefully, I don't want to speak big words.
Yeah, really.
We made the cut and now we're gonna assemble.
Right.
So this is one of those tips and tricks. We had shown you this piece slid all the way over here, and we are using it slid out just a little bit to help support this piece, which now needs to be attached to the upright. And we slid it out enough to get our clamps in place, but again, it's supporting the weight of this board. This bottom piece that was already assembled is supporting the weight so that we can successfully get this one attached. And then our next step will be the other vertical that we had already cut down and showed you in the last piece.
What can we
It's backwards.
do? Okay.
So because of the closeness of this space, we have switched our drill to the angle one. And having the right tool definitely makes a
We'll make all
difference.
three. So the sequence for the L parts is you start with the longest piece, which I think is 27,
26 and a half.
26 and a half, and then you put the vertical, and there are two verticals, and the verticals are 20,
20.
and we're going to show you the next step after that. Next, attach your short side, which in our case is 9 inches. So you attach your vertical to the top, and then you attach the short side to the vertical, right?
And the idea is that that one goes first because the next one that matches this goes there, and you want to know the correct spacing for that.
So the next step is our other side that creates the little tower.
And do you want to call out the importance of placement?
What?
Placement of this one.
Well, that helps you not make a mistake and not have to measure, right?
And the fact that it's outside on this side and outside on this side. So putting this one inside here would have been a mistake. So it needs to match, the top and the bottom need to match, and that they're on the outside of this piece.
So outside and outside.
So again, we're using the existing piece to ensure that we are on the right height there, so we don't have to measure anything and potentially make a mistake. And like we did in the other side, this ends up being a little too tall. I mean, we could have put it outside, but we decided to cut it to make it consistent, right?
Right.
Well, this is the final product, and at this point, depending on your decor, you could stop, right? As you can see, it can actually open. So if you buy a bigger TV in the future, you can buy what, another couple of feet?
Yeah.
Right?
So this piece and this piece slide apart, and then they rest on the bottom piece there. That's a cabinet. So you've effectively got lots of little compartments to store whatever you want in there. Books, audio, your DVD player if you still have one of those, and then of course that provides a nice space for a TV to sit on top.
Right. So ladies, intermediate, advanced, beginner.
Beginner mediate,
Yeah, beginner mediate.
Beginner, medium.
because it is just all straight cuts,
Right.
but you do need to keep all of your cut sizes organized and know the direction of how you're making the attachments. So making sure that all of these are the same and you're not putting like something on the outside where it shouldn't be, right?
Yep. Now this was not our design. We saw it somewhere and we just built it.
Well, we did modify it though.
We did modify it. But if you were to buy it, you can buy the particle board version for close to what we spent for wood,
Right.
which was $70. What did we spend for wood? I don't remember.
I think it was close to 80.
Okay, $80. So you can buy something similar, but it will be the particle board or the IKEA thing, which is actually cardboard inside, right? This is solid wood. It's not the most expensive wood. You can buy more expensive wood and do it even more high-end, I guess is the right term, right? But for our purposes, to match our decor, this is going to be stained, correct?
Yep.
So lessons learned, even with pilot holes, if you try to screw into a knot, there is a chance that it will break.
Right.
So, if possible, avoid drilling and screwing where there are knots. In general, you can fix those things. We made that and we fixed it. And I don't think you can even see where it is right now. So that is a best practice. What's another best practice? Dry fit, right?
Yep.
The two sides were slightly different by how much we said?
1/8 of an inch.
An eighth of an inch. So no matter how good our measuring would have been, we would have been either a little too long or a little too short, right? So by dry fitting and show you the technique we use today, you can ensure that your final project will actually fit without any difficulties. What else you want to add, ladies?
You could use different types of wood. We opted for this because we had a very large piece of it that we wanted to use and for consistency. But it's also a little bit cheaper than
Right.
the same dimension boards that are not project boards like this one that are pieced together. And
you
it's
can
pretty
go-
easy to work
you
with.
can go
And it's
cheaper with dimensional
aesthetically
lumber.
pleasing. You know, we're going to stain it and you're going to see all these lovely knots and fingers come out.
Very good. Staining transformation. So friends, this is our build for today. And as we have shown you, it's very versatile. It's modern. It is attractive, right?
Yeah.
And as we showed you in the beginning, it can be arranged in different ways, but we built it specifically to fit these speakers and this amplifier.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the power of DIY, right? You build yours to fit your specific components and your specific needs and space, of course, right?
Right. And we also knew the size of our TV and approximately the size of other things that might go in these nooks, like the different components that he has, a CD player and a DVD player, etc.
And enough space for books and
Right. Even
movies.
decorations.
Yeah. So we hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you did, we'd appreciate a thumbs up. If you didn't, hit the other button twice. Share, like, subscribe. Let us know. Do you want us to make more videos like this? And if you do, we're going to do that. For our members, we can provide the plans to this build free of charge. If you just send us an email and you're a member, we'll just email you the plans back. From Professor DIY, Mrs. DIY, let's build something fun together. And if you have not subscribed, don't forget to subscribe.